So a DCS investigation is triggered when there's a referral made. DCS stands for Department of Children's Services. So those investigations are internal with the Department of Children's Services, but a lot of times they will start out by interviewing possibly the parents or even going to the school and interviewing the child and any other witnesses they feel like is necessary. Yeah, so things that might trigger a DCS investigation, it could be a wide range of things, but anytime that the department feels like a child may be what's called dependent and neglected in a parent or a caretaker's care, that's what will trigger the investigation. And that can be a wide range of things, such as abuse of the child. That can also be, if a parent has a substance abuse issue or any other kind of maybe mental health issue that affects their ability to properly parent the child, those types of things can trigger DCS investigations. So during a DCS investigation, unless, you know, there's a court order or unless you enter into an agreement with them that you will restrict your time with your child, you still have time with your child. Now, DCS, though, may go file and get what's called like an emergency court order to remove the contact between you and your child. And if they do that, then you need to follow those court orders. So DCS is going to be looking for whether or not that child is what they consider to be dependent and neglected in the caretaker's care. And that, and it could be the parent or it could be somebody else who has custody of the child. So they're not really looking at if you've made a bad parenting decision necessarily. They're really looking at, is this child dependent and neglected? So I feel like that rises to a little bit higher of a level than what you would get in a custody case between two parents who are getting divorced. Yeah, so if you find yourself facing a case where the Department of Children's Services is involved, I mean, one of the main things I tell people to do is like if you've done something that did affect the best interest of your child, it's to own your mistake. And then two, the department will work with you to set forth parameters of what they believe you may need to do in order to regain custody of your child. For example, let's just say you have a substance abuse issue. They may require you to do certain things such as taking an alcohol and drug assessment or going to AA, different things like that. So, their goal is to make sure that the children are safe. And so it's important that you work with them to remedy whatever caused them to be involved in the case and to get custody of your children back. So overall, my experience with the Department of Children's Services has been that they are a decent agency. I'm sure, like anyone else, there's times that they make mistakes or maybe take a child from a home where the removal wasn't completely necessary. That's why you have judges in place, and that's why you have the right to have hearings sooner than later. If you feel like your children were wrongfully removed from your home, you have the right to bring that before the judge in a quick fashion and have a hearing, and then the judge ultimately makes that determination. So if you're facing a case where the Department of Children's Services are involved, or if the Department of Children's Services has filed something to remove the custody of your children from your care, it's very important that you reach out to a qualified attorney. You can call us at Mandy Hancock Law and schedule a consultation. We can go over with you your rights and your responsibilities as a parent, but it's very important that you understand those rights and responsibilities in order to regain custody of your children.